The federal government is contemplating the replacement of fuel subsidy with a monthly 5,000 naira fuel grant to the nation's most vulnerable citizens. The gesture will span between 6 months and 1 year, even as the government contemplates ending fuel subsidy mid-2022. According to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, who disclosed these are the launch at the World Bank Nigeria Development Update in Abuja on Tuesday. Between 30 and 40 million poor Nigerians will benefit from this intervention. The minister said the final number of beneficiaries will depend on the resources available for the removal of the fuel subsidy. This means the government would spend between 1.8 trillion naira and 2.4 trillion naira on fuel grants in 1 year. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Muyiwa, had disclosed earlier in the year that the federal government spends between 140 billion naira and 150 billion naira on premium motor spirit subsidy monthly. Now let's talk this through by speaking with the Public Affairs Analyst, Muyiwa Ogunlaja. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this hour. Let me start by getting your initial reaction to this news.
Thank you, my dear. And let me say thank you, viewers. It's a bit stubborn that the government that is finding it very difficult to pay the minimum wage of 30,000 naira, while some governments pay the 80,000 naira, is contemplating paying Nigerians 5,000 naira monthly. Where would they get the money from? It's like throwing the first one on Nigerians. Much as I agree that fuel subsidy removal, the fuel subsidy removal is imminent. It is not what should be done at a goal like that. It has to be done in phases. So I don't really think that it has been well thought of, and I'm sure Nigerians will resist this to the last. I'm very sure of that. Hello.
Well, that being said, 5,000 naira monthly to the poorest Nigerians, that would be around 200 billion naira monthly. How do we determine these poorest Nigerians, and how much has the government accounted for, these similar gifts handed out, under other schemes?
No, the point actually has to be understood. The minister did say that we are going to use the PPN, the bank numbers of 40% of Nigerians who are below the survival line. They tend to have 30 to 40 million Nigerians on board. But the question is, these Nigerians who are just within this strata, how many of them have bank accounts? How many of them transact business with banks? That is the question. And I wish sure that this process will be hijacked. We saw what happened in the palliative time, when palliatives meant for Nigerians were hijacked. They were stored in different warehouses until Nigerians went out and they started burgling these warehouses. Nobody knew that these palliatives were there. Who says that this particular one will not be hijacked by these prominent and eminent Nigerians who are only after their own selfish interests? So the point one is making is that it's not a well thought of plan, and I don't think to stand the test of time. It's not the way out. The system should have been a socio-political police solution, not just saying that you're going to pay just 5,000 naira that will not get to the intended citizens. That I think is not proper. It has not been well thought of. There are better ways out, and I'm sure if all the stakeholders are brought together, better ways will be propounded. I agree, subsidies cannot remain forever. The much as can be reduced, total withdrawal will be suicidal to Nigerians. What do we gain as Nigerians? If you are producing in this country, what do we gain? What do the common people gain from this? If I'm a Nigerian and I cannot benefit from the Commonwealth, why am I a Nigerian? Should I be paid? Should I be punished because of some Nigerians who are smuggling oil to other countries? Why is it that our borders are porous? Those are the questions that must be asked.
Mr. Ogunlaja, let me quickly squeeze in this question before we let you go. The GMD of the NNPC, Malam Muyiwa, hinted that a litre of fuel may begin to sell for 320 naira to 340 naira come 2022. What would you say to this?
It is just telling common Nigerians to go and get ready for suicide. Let us say the truth. If you keep on doing this, and money is not coming in, no government is increasing monthly salary now. Even private companies are folding up. They are not even paying their workers. If they are doing this, how would they get the money to buy fuel at 300 per liter? Is that possible? How would the keke man, how would the woman that grinds pepper in the market, how would the keke man fly? How would that fashion designer who uses I pass my neighbor generator, how would he or she place his business? It's a business. These are the questions that must be asked. If the economy is buoyant and definitely people are living above the standard, then this can be done. The economy is already comatose. Nigerians are living under the threat of dying anytime. What you are getting is survival wage just to survive, and you want to kill them again. This go
Right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. It's an ongoing conversation. We'll see how those who are concerned with this matter will react to this recommendation and taking them. Public Affairs Analyst Muyiwa Ogunlaja speaking to us on TVC News. Thank you.